Ladies and gentlemen, we're witnessing an American renaissance that has the Democrats in full meltdown mode. President Trump's decisive leadership is delivering wins that just can't be ignored anymore. Just 1 month in, he's secured over $1.6 trillion in investments, compared to Biden's struggle to reach $1 trillion in nearly 4 years. Apple's $500 billion investment is only the beginning. Meanwhile, poll after poll shows Americans rallying behind Trump's policies, a stunning 81% support, deporting illegal migrant criminals, leaving Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries desperately clinging to January 6 narratives the public has moved far beyond. Even on the global stage, Trump is nearing a historic Russia-Ukraine peace deal that would secure valuable mineral rights for America. The establishment never thought it possible. As we step into 2025, one thing is clear, however: de-dollarization is accelerating. China and other BRICS nations are scared of President Trump, making them more determined to reduce their dependence on the U.S. dollar, their secret weapon, gold. China has resumed buying gold and deliberately underreports their purchases. Why the secrecy? They recognize gold's global value and ability to withstand economic shocks. While nations prepare for uncertainty, what about your finances? In this shifting landscape, gold provides a personal hedge against volatility that few assets can match. Noble Gold Investments can help secure your future with physical gold. Visit nextnewsgold.com, and qualified accounts will receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins as a bonus. That's nextnewsgold.com. Or call that number. Tell them Gary Franchi sent you. 877-646-5347. Okay, here we go, folks. Are you ready? This is it. This is the big news right now. Just an hour ago, this we got directly from the White House press communications team, because we are now on that list. We're getting all the real-time updates, so you do not want to miss any reports or any tweets we put out. This is it. Trump dropping a nuclear bomb on the deep state. In an unprecedented move, President Trump just ordered the immediate suspension of security clearances for Jack Smith's allies and cut off federal contracts with their law firm. Covington Burling LLP, the firm that worked with corrupt special counsel Jack Smith, has just been purged from the federal government. Trump's order strips security clearances from every lawyer, partner, and employee who aided Smith in what many believe was a political witch hunt. So here is what the order does. All security clearances suspended for Jack Smith's allies at Covington Burling LLP. All federal contracts with Covington under review. They're being financially cut off. No agency can engage Covington anymore. They're banned from working with the government. OPM, the Office of Personnel and Management, ordered to enforce this across all agencies, so no hiding in the bureaucracy. Every agency must align with Executive Order 14147, which is Trump's directive to end the weaponized government. And of course, the deep state is predictably in panic mode. Covington Burling LLP has been a power hub for Democrat lawfare. Their lawyers helped Jack Smith wage what many saw as a politically motivated attack on Trump, but Trump is now dismantling their influence from the inside. Biden's old guard just got purged. This is the biggest anti-corruption move in modern history. So here's why this matters. Covington's lawyers played a key role in the weaponization of the judicial process. They've been deeply embedded in the government for years, and Trump is exposing and removing the rot from D.C. in real time. This is not just draining the swamp. This is napalm. Trump is proving that no one is above the law, not even the corrupt insiders who thought they were untouchable. So stay tuned. The deep state is trembling. This is just the beginning. Follow the Next News Network for real-time White House updates as history unfolds. Here is the actual, this is a screenshot of the email that I received directly from the White House. You can see it. This is the memo. Suspension of security clearance for an evaluation of government contracts. This is it. Go to our X account. You can read it in full. This is directly from the White House. Already 45,000 views, 268 reposts, 10 quotes, 1,200 likes, and 68 bookmarks, folks. We are rocking and rolling. Let's continue. We've got more news. President Trump taking bold action to slash healthcare costs and force price transparency. Moments ago, President Trump signed an executive order to empower patients with clear, accurate, and actionable healthcare pricing information. This ends decades of hidden prices, ensuring Americans know the real cost of healthcare before they pay. So what does Trump's order do? Forces hospitals and insurers to disclose actual prices, no more fake estimates, cracks down on non-compliance. Insurers and hospitals will face strict enforcement. Brian, please mute your microphone. It also cracks down on non-compliance. Insurers and hospitals will face strict enforcement. It expands price transparency on prescription drugs. Big Pharma is on notice, makes pricing comparable across hospitals and insurers. Patients can finally stop for care like any other product. And so why this matters? Healthcare price secrecy has allowed hospitals and insurers to inflate costs, forcing patients to pay more for the same treatments. Trump's 2019 transparency rules were sabotaged by Joe Biden, but a full implementation would save Americans $80 billion. Employers could slash their healthcare costs by 27% on 500 common procedures if pricing was fully transparent. Listen, folks, go check out the X account. There is so much happening right now. We've got the deep state on the run. Here's President Trump talking about Zelensky coming to the White House on Friday.
Hear that? True that President Zelensky is coming on Friday to meet with you, and is the mineral deal sorted out?
I hear that. I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly, it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. And I think the American people, even if you look at polling, they're very happy because, you know, Biden was throwing money around like it's cotton candy. And it's a very big deal. Look, it could be $1 trillion deal. It could be whatever, but it's rare earths and other things. And look, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine and Russia fighting. A war that should have never, ever happened. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president. And it didn't happen for 4 years. People say, how do we know that? It didn't happen for 4 years. Would have never happened. And nevertheless, this guy went into this situation and he spent money like nobody's ever seen. $350 billion. The other thing that we don't like is that Europe has spent $100 billion. We've spent $350 billion. Europe gets their money back because they spent it in the form of a loan. And we just gave them, whether it's 300 or 350 billion, nobody really knows. They can't even tell me the answer to that. It means probably more than that. So what we're doing is now we're saying, look, we want to be secured. We want to get that money back. We're helping a country through a very, very big problem, a problem like very few people have had. Shouldn't have had this problem because it shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. So we have to straighten it out. But the American taxpayer now is going to get their money back plus.
It's about damn time. How much money have we spent in Ukraine? Here's President Trump signing the executive order to protect America's copper industry.
Copper is a critical material, and the supply of copper is vital to our national security. In recent years, we've dealt with a significant issue of the dumping of foreign copper into the American market. That significantly impacted the domestic production and manufacture of copper and copper materials. This executive order charges your Secretary of Commerce with starting the process to potentially impose tariffs or other trade barriers to prevent this ongoing dumping of copper and to protect the American manufacture and production of copper.
It will have a big impact. Howard, do you want to say something about that?
Do you mind if I read one of your
truths?
truths? So this is a truth that's about to go out. Like our steel and aluminum industries, our great American copper industry has been decimated by global actors attacking our domestic production. To build back our copper industry, I have requested my Secretary of Commerce and USTR to study copper imports and end unfair trade putting Americans out of work. Tariffs will help rebuild back our American copper industry and strengthen our national defense. American industries depend on copper, and they should be made in America. No exemptions, no exceptions. America first creates American jobs and protects our national security. It's time for copper to come home.
Time for copper to come home. And that is what is happening direct from the Oval Office. Here is President Trump getting all teary-eyed looking at the map of the Gulf of America.
And if you look at that shoreline, look at that shoreline. Look, from Florida, well, most of it is, it's called America. And vast majority, like big numbers. So I'm just admiring it as I look at it. I'm getting teary-eyed, but I don't want you to say Trump broke down and started crying. No, how beautiful is that? Look at the shoreline. Look at that. That's America. And
That's America, baby, and it is coming back. Here we have President Trump. Check out this new hat he's got.
Give me all of them. Look. See that? Trump was right about everything. It just came in. Somebody said, I said, this was sent in by a fan. I said, I think we should make some of them, right? But we were, pretty much. You want one?
I'll pass.
Are you allowed to take one? Because he'll consider it. I know him well. He's sort of a stiff. Yeah, Brian, you're not a stiff. He's sort of a stiff guy. He'll take other things, but not a free hat.
Always say yes to the president. Always say yes to the
Would
president.
anybody like one?
Always say yes to the president, and I hope to be wearing one of those soon on my next trip back to the White House. We've got more. President Trump confirms that the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will be given an invitation to the White House. Check this out.
The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. Are they being extended an invitation?
They will be. We haven't yet, but we will be. I thought it was a great performance by them, and absolutely they'll be extended that invitation. Would you do that right away? By the way,
sir.
We'll do it right away. We're going to do it sometime today, and they deserve to be down here, and we hope to see them.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Rock and roll. Here's more. We have, check this out. Flashback video. Just got back from the future with George Papa. Trump destroyed Kamala in the debate. Yes, America is looking so bright right now. Oh, man. Wow.
Gary.
Whoa. That was wild, dude. Whoa. Did you see that debate? Trump killed it.
Whoa.
Wow, man. I mean, we knew that was going to happen, though, right?
Gary, that's the benefit of going into the future, coming back. You know exactly what's going to happen. Gary, it was a massacre. It was an absolute massacre. He wiped her. He wiped the floor with Kamala. It's over. Done deal. Game, set, match.
Man, dude, I thought the Biden debate was bad. I mean, Kamala, dude. I mean, the cackling. She couldn't even figure out how to finish the sentences. I mean, Trump. He couldn't even. Man, it was just crazy.
Gary, we didn't even have to go into the future to predict what we just saw.
Oh, we knew it was going to happen. We just saw it.
We knew it. We saw it. We're here to tell you exactly how it ends. This is over. Trump 2024.
Oh man, George Papadopoulos right here in the time machine. We just got back from the debate. Gary Franchi here. I mean, holy cow, this was amazing.
Oh my God, Gary! This is it. This is the benefit of time travel. I'm telling you, this is it. Not many people could do it. We did it.
The future looks bright, doesn't it?
The future looks extremely bright. I'm very happy. Extremely happy. Trump 2024. Don't worry about anything. Be strong, America. We got this.
Yeah, baby. We went to the future and we saw it, and it looks brighter than ever. And it's happening in real time. Here we have President Trump signing executive orders, dropping bombshells in the Oval Office. President Trump took a sledgehammer to D.C., signing major executive orders on healthcare, trade, and the digital economy, while dropping explosive updates on Ukraine, the budget fight, and fake news. What he did changes everything. First, Trump just reinstated and strengthened healthcare price transparency rules that Biden gutted. Hospitals and doctors can no longer hide costs. Americans deserve to know what they're paying. Now they will. The medical industry is on notice. Second, Trump is taking action to protect American copper supplies. He ordered Commerce Secretary Lutnick to investigate tariffs and trade barriers on foreign copper to ensure America isn't reliant on hostile nations for critical resources. Trump also taking action to protect American copper supplies. He ordered on Ukraine. Trump confirms Zelensky may visit Friday, but made it clear we want to get that money back. He also spoke with President Putin. I think he wants to settle it and get back to life. Trump is getting results while Biden got us only war. On Musk's 5 bullet point rule, Trump didn't hold back. If you don't answer, I guess you get fired. He mocked lazy bureaucrats. I could tell you 5 things I did last. I could tell you 5 things I did 6 weeks ago. Dead weight in D.C. is gone. On fake news and the WHCA, Trump doubled down on kicking the AP out of the press events. AP has been terrible. I think they're radical left. He made it clear we're going to be calling those shots. The legacy media monopoly is over. Trump admired the Gulf of America. He got teary-eyed over California's water finally flowing and promised photos to the press. Legacy media is panicking. The swamp is being drained in real time. Let's go, baby. We've got so much more in this day. Let's take a look. A reporter talking about this is in the press room today. What was the reason for the president replacing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs? Let's listen to the beloved press secretary.
7 audits in a row.
What was the reason for the president naming a replacement for General Brown? And then I'll follow up with another personnel announcement that's been made over the last few days.
He thinks he's doing a bad job, and it's time for a shakeup at the Pentagon. They failed 7 audits in a row. The trust in our United States military amongst the war fighters is low. The president is shaking up the Pentagon and the Department of Defense, of course, with Secretary Hegseth leading, and he has the right to do that. It's actually quite common from administration to administration to do such a thing.
Let's go. We've got more. Here is senior counselor Peter Navarro explaining the POTUS memo to revive investigations aimed at imposing tariffs on countries that slap digital service taxes on U.S. tech companies. Check this out.
Stock price.
This is on CNBC.
Why this matters for
CNBC. Peter Navarro.
CNBC. It taxes revenues, not profits, Jim. So what happens is the revenues come right off as a cost, and they reduce the profits. That reduces stock prices, market cap, possible dividends, and it's a hit, right? But at the same time, when these DSTs increase costs, lower profits, it's also the corporate income tax that suffers. So it started out in France, and it looks like we'd lose, a billion here, a billion there. But as this spread like a contagion around the world, it's going to be hundreds of billions of dollars, Jim. So the President Trump saw all of this immediately. He saw all of these problems. And so what he has done is issue a tough presidential memorandum which directs the USTR to resume the 301 investigations that were started back in 2019 when this whole DST plunder began. And those go country by country by country. We're going to come up with an estimate of how much it's costing the United States and set a reciprocal tariff immediately, assuming the investigation pans out the way we think it will. And as soon as these countries remove their DSTs on American companies, then the tariffs will go away. It's that simple. It's that common sense. Now, there's a couple other things, Jim, I think are worth pointing out. As you know, a lot of countries in the world are now using regulatory methods to stick it to our companies. Those are going to be investigated. That's going to go away. There's localization of data issues which originated in China, but likewise has spread like a contagion to other countries, and it raises privacy issues. So bottom line is, President Trump, promises made, promises kept. He's going to fix this, Jim, and that's what he does.
That's what President Trump does. He fixes things. Here we also, Trump wins the first round versus the AP in the fight over the Gulf of America. Here's President Trump greeting a group during a White House tour. Check this out. President Trump walking through, I think I actually, you know what? I walked through those very hallways just the other day. It's really cool to see it from this perspective now.
White House, what an exciting tour. It's really something. Is everybody having a good time? Nothing like the White House. No matter where you go, the biggest people come here, and they all have beautiful offices, but when they walk into the Oval Office, there's nothing like it. They look and some of them actually start crying, and these are business leaders. I don't want you to see that. We can do better than that, but some of them actually get emotional. But just have a
President Trump hosting the first group of tourists. Here we have This is Real America's Voice. Get ready for a government shutdown. Steve Bannon breaks down what Speaker Johnson just held a press conference on. The budget continuing resolution. Not one Democrat will vote on it. It's a constitutional fight. Let's listen in.
Tie the hands of the chairman. Tom Cole addressed the House Republicans this morning on the latest developments about how we may be getting close to a number on that. The problem is the Democrats have added something new and different that's never been part of this before. They are trying to add to the appropriations bill a demand that they want us to somehow limit the ability of the executive branch to do its job. They want to tie the hands of the president on what he is able to do with the expenditures in the executive branch. That's never been done before. House Republicans, as egregious as the actions were of the previous president, Joe Biden, as unconstitutional and outrageous as they were, we never proposed using the appropriations process to tie the president's hands. It'd be, I think, a gross separation of powers violation and a terrible precedent for Congress to engage in. So that's a non-starter for us, and the Democrats know that. And so it looks like they're in a posture right now that they're making individual appropriations bills almost impossible. We'll find out soon. Stay tuned. There's more discussion today to be had. But we are nearing, obviously, the March 14th deadline. And I'm really hopeful that they'll back off of those outrageous demands because it's unprecedented and I think probably unconstitutional. And it's not anything we'll be a part of. Thank you. Thank you.
Given where you are, would you support a CR right now?
Let me have it.
What you got, Steve?
I mean, right there you see it. Get ready for a government shutdown. President Trump's government being shut down. Just get ready for it. What they're saying there is that, I'm sure on the appropriation side, what the Democrats are trying to do is this whole thing on the unitary theory of the executive. Another ideas have consequences. There's this stronger than a belief. I mean, it's one of the things that the Project 2025, CRA, Russ Vogt over at LMB, many of lawyers about the appropriations process, that the appropriations is a ceiling and that either through impoundment or rescissions, the executive branch has ability to hold back the funds or reprogram. And I'm sure that in code, that's what he's talking about. They want to have, the Democrats want to have wording in there that that's not going to happen, and you have the constitutional fight. Now, bottom line, though, that is a bigger and tougher fight. He just told you right there, you ain't getting any Democrat votes on this CR.
Chairman Tom.
So that's not happening. Here we have more. This is our beloved press secretary talking about the new Apple investment. Check this out.
Companies on the face. President Trump is a deal maker, and he has restored confidence in business leaders around this entire world. Apple is one of the largest companies on the face of the planet. They employ hundreds of thousands of Americans, but the president wants to see more Americans employed, more investments here in the United States of America. And this is another fulfillment of the president's campaign promises. I recall President Trump at his rallies on the campaign telling the world that if and when I am elected, America is going to be back, and we want your investments to be driven onshore. We want you to hire American workers, and you will have the lowest regulatory burden, the lowest tax cuts, and the president has already proven he's committed to slashing regulation. He's counting on Congress to implement those tax cuts. And so people are encouraged by the president's, again, as Tim Cook called it, they're bullish about American innovation because of the leadership of this president. And it's a stark contrast to the leadership of the previous administration, Joe Biden, who I don't think spent any time trying to recruit any investments or jobs here at home. President Trump.
Yeah, that shows you the stark contrast between the two. We also have this, President Trump taking decisive action for Kentucky. We posted this 9 hours ago. President Trump approved a major disaster declaration for Kentucky after devastating storms and flooding. Federal aid is on the way. Even Democrat Governor Bashar admits Trump acted faster than ever seen before. This is what true leadership looks like. That is what the Democrat governor is now admitting. Here is the official press release from the White House posted to our X account. Here we have President Trump has always been correct. Check this out.
Fatigue. So if Trump is correct He's not correct on lots of things, but he's very correct on this. You go to the mayor of Kyiv, Klitschko, the former boxer. He himself was the one who first said that Zelensky is no better than Putin. He's basically a dictator. That's what he's saying. And what I find most egregious is the fact that Western media have painted a picture and done perfect PR for Zelensky from day one. The guy is the president. Why is he walking around doing TV shows in army fatigues as if he's the army general, as if he's out on the front line? He's not. It's all been perfect PR. Going on Vogue magazine, going around to our parliament and doing speeches where he quotes Churchill. He knows exactly what he's been doing, and the West have played into that. Trump is the only person who's going to end this war.
And that's exactly what we need to do, end this war. Here we have our beloved press secretary yet again talking about the American people giving President Trump very positive marks.
Strong. The American people continue to overwhelmingly give President Trump very positive remarks. Nearly every one of President Trump's policy initiatives are receiving strong majority support. And I have noted that in every briefing since Inauguration Day. 81% of Americans support deporting illegal migrant criminals from our nation's interior. 76% of Americans support the DOJ-led efforts of a full-scale investigation to find and eliminate fraud and waste in government expenditures. Again, this is from a Harvard-Harris poll, a very legitimate pollster. 76% of Americans support closing the border. 69% of Americans support President Trump's common sense efforts to ban men from women's sports. As you all know, we celebrated that executive order at the White House a couple of weeks ago. 65% of Americans support the president's efforts to eliminate all preferences by race in the hiring and awarding of government contracts, which is another pledge that DOJ is working hard to fulfill. And 61% of Americans, vast majority, support the president's plan for reciprocal tariffs to ensure that other countries are treating us the way we have always been treated. Despite what many Democrats and media members want you to believe, the Trump agenda is not only necessary, but it is overwhelmingly popular. Why? Because it's driven by common sense.
Common sense is back, baby. Here we have Scott Pressler. Check out what he's up to from Bergen to Union to Hunterdon to Mercer to Burlington to Gloucester and beyond. He's going to spend his time in New Jersey to flip the governorship from blue to red. Let's listen to what Scott Pressler's up to.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Pressler. I am here in Bergen County at the Lincoln Reagan. Together, we are going to flip the New Jersey governorship from blue to red. This November, we together as a family are going to flip New Jersey from blue to red. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Buckle up, New Jersey. Scott Pressler's coming. Here we have more from our press secretary talking about his inaugural address, the president, and his promises.
Were proven. During his inaugural address, President Trump promised that America would be a manufacturing nation once again, and liberal pundits mocked him for it. But those critics were proven wrong once again. On the heels of President Trump's Oval Office meeting with Apple CEO Tim Cook last week, Apple just announced its largest ever commitment to American jobs and industry, with plans to spend and invest more than $500 billion in America over the next 4 years. Over the course of the current Trump administration, Apple plans to hire around 20,000 new workers, creating high-paying jobs right here in America. And the investment isn't limited to one specific region of our country. Apple teams and facilities will expand all over our country in Arizona, California, Iowa, Nevada, North Carolina, Michigan, Oregon, Texas, and Washington. With President Trump in charge, America is open for business. Apple CEO Tim Cook said it best in the company's announcement. We are bullish on the future of American innovation. On top of this incredible Apple announcement, President Trump already announced more than $1 trillion in pledged investments into the United States.
$1 trillion coming back. And of course, the left can't figure it out. They're still on the J6 narrative. Yeah, keep beating that horse, guys. Keep beating it, and we're going to keep making America great again. Stephen A. Smith asks Hakeem Jeffries when his party will let go of J6, and he responds by ranting about it. Let's listen into this hat tip to the Daily Caller for pulling this clip.
Swing states, etc. When are we going to let go of January 6th? We're going to let that go because I mean, the man was impeached twice, convicted on 34 felony counts, and still reelected. I mean, at some point in time, somebody like Senator Durbin and others who was asking Pam Bondi about, are you willing to admit he lost the election? It's like, enough of that, because the American people clearly have spoken. At least 77 plus million of them have spoken. He won the Electoral College vote. He won the popular vote. He won the swing states, etc. They've said what they've had to say. When are y'all going to let that go? And number two, how are you going to go about not coming across as being at the mercy of the progressive left? And I'm asking you that question specifically because in a lot of American people's eyes, you're seen as somebody who's center left, more of a centrist, more reasonable than some of the folks that have been the most outspoken for the Democratic Party.
Well, I think in terms of January 6th, look, it's not something that the American people should ever forget.
Okay.
Because it was an extraordinary event. I was there when we were debating, as Congress does, the certification of the election. And we were told that a mob has...
Was there really a debate going on? Really? Come on now.
Breached the Capitol. They're on the second floor. They're a few steps outside of the House chamber and hit the ground. And be prepared to secure the gas masks that are underneath your seats, because there were people who were trying to stop the peaceful transfer of power.
Okay.
And this is the greatest democracy in the history of the world, so we can't forget January 6th. I'm not suggesting that it's a core issue moving forward in terms of how we are making our case to the American people, but we also can't ignore the fact that in one of his first acts, President Trump chose to pardon violent felons who brutally assaulted and beat police officers. Are they the party of law and order? That's actually lawlessness and disorder. We can't ignore it. I know they want us to. And actually the American people, as I travel the country, all across America, are appalled that that actually could happen. Why? Because they know it doesn't make them safer when you are pardoning people and sending a signal that that kind of violence is all right. But when are we going
yeah, certainly President Trump is sending a signal. Here we have from Cash Loren, a peace deal has been reached between Russia and Ukraine. Zelensky is flying to the USA to sign the deal made with President Trump. Not finalized. Here are some key details. The United States will earn 50% of the future revenue from Ukraine's mineral wealth as repayment for the United States tax dollars spent on the war. No membership in NATO, thank God. Ukraine was never going to join NATO. That's always been a line in the sand for Russia and what started the war in the first place. No boots on the ground. Zelensky tried to backdoor NATO membership by placing U.S. or European boots on the ground in Ukraine. Instead, there will be a demilitarized zone. Ukraine concedes territory. Wow. Exactly how much is yet unknown, but Ukraine was never going to get all of its territory back any more than they were going to join NATO. They report here they haven't seen any concessions released by Russia yet, so get ready for more Putin puppet hoaxes. But the reality is Ukraine never had a chance against Russia. Biden started this war. Boris Johnson sabotaged a peace deal. Likely millions died and hundreds of billions of dollars were spent as a result. Trump ran on bringing peace to Ukraine. Promises made, promises kept. It is time for peace in the world. And we have this. Vivek Ramaswamy will make Ohio great again.
President Trump is reviving our conviction in America. We require a leader here at home who will revive our conviction in Ohio. And that is why today I am honored to announce that I am running to be the next governor of a great state at the heart of the greatest nation known to mankind, the state where I was born and raised, the state where Apurva and I raise our two sons today. a state whose best days are still ahead, I am honored to announce my candidacy to serve as the next governor of the state of Ohio.
From campaign to the White House to Doge ambassador, now going to the governorship of Ohio. We are going to watch that campaign closely. But of course, we still have the left losing their minds. This is the resistance. Gunter Eagleman.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
No. This is what democracy looks like, okay? You guys can scream into the wind all you want. President Trump is going to keep making America better and better. Okay, here is the moment when Trump signed that executive order suspending security clearances for Covington and Burling LLP employees.
At the outset of your administration, sir, you committed to ending the weaponization of government, to holding those accountable who participated in the weaponization of government.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening? Deranged Jack Smith. We're going to call it the Deranged Jack Smith signing or bill. Go ahead.
One law firm that provided pro bono legal services to the special counsel's office under Jack Smith's leadership was Covington and Burling. As a result of those actions, we're now going to be suspending and putting under review the security clearances for the attorneys and employees at that firm who worked with Jack Smith's team. And we're going to continue holding the people who were responsible for the weaponization of government, who supported it, accountable for what they did.
And you'll be doing this with other firms as time goes by, right?
We're looking at sort of the whole panoply of options.
The weaponization of our system by law firms, even pro bono work they're doing just in order to clog up government, stop government. And nobody knows about it more than me. And hopefully that'll never happen again.
So the Covington and Burlington?
Covington and Burlington.
Okay.
Mr. President, may I ask you a question about Europe? So long term, do you plan to maintain the number of U.S. troops
Wait,
stationed?
I just want to savor this one, please. Who would like this pen?
I'll take it.
Hey, why don't you send it to Jack Smith?
Yeah, send it to Jack Smith.
A deranged person.
At the outset of your...
Oh, and not only is President Trump making America great again all day long, but we have this. Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars is going to be great again. Kathleen Kennedy will be stepping down from her role as Lucasfilm president by the end of 2025. As you know, she completely destroyed that franchise with her woke garbage, and now she is gone. So is that a result of Donald Trump? I don't know, but I'll take it. Let's go, baby. Here we have more. This is from Senator John Barrasso. He says the numbers are clear. Americans support President Trump's policies.
Popular, having listened to the minority leader, there's something to the effect that
Republicans are focused on things that Americans either don't like or don't care about.
And as he was saying this, I recalled a Harvard-Harris poll conducted just this past week. Trump's policies, huge popularity. Deportation of illegal immigrants who've committed crimes. 81% of the American people, and that includes a lot of Democrats, say that is a very popular position and now being enforced by President Trump. Eliminating fraud and waste in government expenditures. 76% of Americans agree. What have we seen happen with Doge? What we have seen is actually pointing out fraud and waste in government. The American people are supportive. And then, of course, closing the border. Again, 76% of Americans support what President Trump is doing. Promises that he made prior to the election, promises kept now that he's in the White House.
Let's go, baby. Let's get some more promises going. We have more WAPO. apparently credits Kevin Posobiec with coining the Gulf of America. What's going on with that?
Story of the day. Biggest stories in the Washington Post today is about Posobiec, back Poso, but it ain't Jack. Kevin Posobiec joins us with, I think, the story of the day about the Gulf of America. The individual came up with that name is our own Kevin Posobiec. Kevin, tell me about this story. It's pretty crazy, but I think you've changed not just map making, you've changed people's kind of really upbeat, hey, it is the Gulf of America. How did you do it, sir?
Hey, Steve, thanks for having me on. I got my America shirt on right here. And, you know, it was a great sunny afternoon, great sunny Sunday afternoon. I was just with my buddy out of church, and, you know, we came down, and he said, let's go get Wave Runners. You know, it was a 4th of July moment, Americana moment. And it really took another meaning once Trump really came in, especially against Mexico. It was like a slap in the face to the cartels, and I think we really need that. But yeah, it's just amazing to see the progression now from Marjorie Taylor Greene taking it on, turning it into legislation, and then Stephen Miller came in and said, why stop there? You know, we got to get Mount McKinley back.
But hold it, Kevin, hang on. Don't bury the lead. Tell me, how did you actually get the idea? Where did it happen? This is what's so amazing about the story. Tell me about it.
So my buddy Johnny and I, I'll give him a shout out. We did rent Wave Runners out in the Gulf of, formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico, and we rented these Wave Runners on that afternoon, and we're just cruising around in the Gulf. And, you know, it didn't, I honestly first thought it was going to be the Gulf of Florida, and it just came to me. I mean, you always bring up divine providence on the show, so I can't say it was much less than that. I was really just hanging out and having a great time on the water. So it did come to me while I was on the Wave Runner, and I just took a little selfie while I was there and posted.
And we also just found out this. Apple, check this out. Apple has announced they're working to fix a dictation feature for iPhones where the word racist is being momentarily transcribed as Trump. Check it out right here. You can see there's the word racist, and there is the word Trump. Let's see if is there any audio on this? No, there's not any audio, but that is what Apple is doing right now. They're working on a fix. I wonder who got into that. Let's take a look at this another angle here. President Trump pausing to greet the inaugural White House tour group of the year.
I think you're going to. But I want to thank you very much for coming. The tour is so great. We did such a good job. First Lady worked very hard on making it perfect, and I think you're going to really love it. And I heard you were here, and I said, let's stop by and say hello. And it's a group of very smart-looking people, I must say. Very smart. Maybe someday you'll be here as the president, right? Somebody in this group has a chance. Have a good time. Have a great tour. And you're going to give them a special tour, okay? You're going to get a special tour. Have fun, everybody.
President Trump making White House tours great again. I don't have any recollection of Joe Biden making surprise visits. He was always sleeping or napping or on vacation. Here we have this. This is from the Megyn Kelly show. She says, time is not on anyone's side. Death and destruction are happening. NSA Michael G. Waltz on Trump versus Zelensky and how Ukraine and Russia can get to the table immediately. And of course, we now know that peace is going to be here on Friday.
He called Zelensky a dictator, which has had a lot of even right-wingers say that that's ridiculous. Zelensky's not a dictator. Putin's a dictator. It's on the front of the New York Post today. Mark Levin, a big fan of the president, spoke out about this. Is that rhetoric that he just throws out there, or do you think he actually means that? What's happening with that word?
Well, look, I think that he's enormously frustrated with Zelensky. He sees that martial law has been in place. I do think elections need to happen at some point. And all of these things can happen once we get to a ceasefire. And that, you know, I think President Zelensky, again, needs to understand that this is a very different dynamic now. This isn't just as long as it takes, as much as it takes, and you do, you know, whatever you want to do. That we are determined to end this war. President Trump is going to do that. And what astounds me is the kind of these critical voices that were so demanding of a ceasefire and a stop to the fighting in Gaza, but yet are aghast that President Trump is doing, saying, moving,
They don't want to
however
cede
it
anything
takes.
to
They don't
Russia.
want to see it. So, what's the alternative solution?
Great observation there. All the people screaming for a ceasefire in Gaza, well, aghast that President Trump would broker a peace deal in Ukraine. Here we have Scott Jennings 9 hours ago. Our favorite CNN commentator, Eric Doherty, reporting that Scott Jennings, Trump is a new broker. He has a chance to do something amazing. Stop the fighting. Grant him some latitude.
And that is to get these two people. I'm willing to give the new administration some latitude to try to enact the political will of the people of the United States, and that is for this to come to an end. The political will to continue to funding an open-ended engagement is draining rapidly. I think you would acknowledge that. And so Trump here is a new broker on the field and has a chance to do something amazing, and that is to get these two people to stop fighting, and in that case would bring some stability to the continent of Europe. And you know what he has to say publicly about Russia or Ukraine over the course of time, I guess I'm willing to give them some latitude if the ultimate result is this, what Pete Hegseth said initially, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine, those were his words. The United States strikes a rare earth mineral deal with Ukraine. I would love that. And the governments in Europe decide that they do need to take a little more responsibility for their own national security. If these are the outcomes and the killing stops, they ought to give Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize.
Amen. Nobel Peace Prize sounds good for me. Governor DeSantis apparently also ending property taxes in the state of Florida. What?
Wherever you're at, it is seriously getting hard to keep up with this, but holy smokes, breaking news. Where's my Floridians right now? I mean, wherever you're at, I'll tell you, I think Tennessee already did this, but now Florida, Governor DeSantis is banning property taxes in the state of Florida.
What's up? Let's go. Maybe we should all move to Florida. If you have any questions about tariffs, this was posted by the Dilly meme team about a simple explanation.
Because success. In the vast ecosystem of global trade, a significant shift is occurring under President Donald Trump's leadership. Tariffs don't cause inflation, they cause success. They cause big success. America has long been the generous host, nurturing other nations at its own expense. These tariffs President Trump has doled out could have been avoided had the leaders of China, Mexico, and Canada only use their common sense and not test the line set out on protecting his pride.
Listen, you motherfuckers, we're going to tax you 25%.
The Canadian Governor Justin Trudeau has ideas of taking on the king of the economic jungle in his own domain. Not a very smart idea for this inexperienced loon. Trudeau suffers a staggering blow of a 25% tariff on all goods and a 10% tariff on energy. As we fly farther south to the US-Mexican border, we find President Scheinbaum much like a diligent dung beetle, tirelessly pushing a massive ball of bullshit up the hill of President Trump's 25% tariff on all imported goods. Next, we take a leap across the Pacific Ocean to China, where President Xi, like a plundering panda, falls quickly into the snare of a 10% tariff for his role in facilitating the production of a deadly drug that has taken many American lives. These tariffs are the catalysts for innovation, a call to arms for American creativity and industry. Jobs will flourish, communities will thrive, echoing the rebirth of ecosystems after a long winter's nap. This change might bring challenges, a time of adjustment, but the vision is clear. A dawn of a new golden age is within our grasp. All we have to do is find a net. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Dilly Meme Team.
Oh, man, I love the Dilly meme team. I love the Dilly meme team. Oh, what's this? We have this. Oh, some language alert. This is President Trump. Looks like he's on Air Force One.
All right. Tampons are for women. Where are they going to stick it? Up their ass? Get the f*** out of here.
It was fire. It was.
Will you put it up on my
Do you want to do it?
Yeah,
put it up. All right. Well, let me get the rally out.
Do it now.
Yeah?
Do it.
Okay.
Get it up. That's a new one. That's a new one. You couldn't act it as good as that. No. See, these are modern day stars.
Oh, my goodness. And, of course, we have so much to be thankful for. Famous black businessman John Hope Bryant stunned Cam Newton when he said, "I don't care about DEI." Bryant then argued America actually needs more successful white men. Interesting. But I think what we should really just close on here is this moment in time.
Is over. Trump 2024.
Oh, man, George Papadopoulos right here in the time machine. We just got back from the debate. Gary Franchi here. I mean, holy cow, this was amazing.
Oh my God, Gary, this is it. This is the benefit of time travel. I'm telling you, this is it. Not many people could do it. We did it.
The future looks bright, doesn't it?
The future looks extremely bright. I'm very happy. Extremely happy. Trump 2024. Don't worry about anything. Be strong, America. We got this.
We got this. We got this indeed. So the economic transformation we're witnessing isn't just about numbers. It's about accountability and results. Trump isn't just winning policy battles. He's systematically replacing corrupt leadership. His decision to replace the chairman of the Joint Chiefs after 7 failed Pentagon audits sends a powerful message that no one is immune from accountability anymore. His swift action for Kentucky flood victims earned praise even from Democrat Governor Andy Bashar, who admitted Trump's response was faster than anything seen before. This is what terrifies the establishment. A president who actually delivers on promises, from border security to economic growth to bureaucratic accountability. Trump is fulfilling campaign pledges while the media pretends nothing is happening. So here's the question. Is the mainstream media deliberately ignoring Trump's successes, or are they genuinely incapable of admitting their apocalyptic predictions were completely wrong? Drop a comment below and grab your exclusive Next News gear in the Next News merch shop. It's linked down below, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Grab a hat. We'll see you at the next report.